Right. I'm not sure if I'm going to talk all the way through this or just do a time lapse on it, but I'll start off by talking away through it. Right, so here I've got an iPhone 6s, and if you can look down the side, can you see the phone is actually bent? Which is really a shame actually, because it's in pretty good condition. The phone's bent. I've got a brand new screen here, a brand new rear housing here. Click it, look, it needs a new screen. You see it's all bled out. All works though, touch. So what my intention is, I'm going to have to do the screen later because I haven't got any here. I've just ordered a couple. So I'm going to start to tear it down and hopefully talk you through it. But, so first things first, I'm going to remove the screen on an iPhone 6s. The screen is actually glued down. You can heat it up. You can use like a hot air station. I've got a heating platform. You can even use a hairdryer or a heat gun and just get this touch hot, and it just softens the glue. But as the screen's knackered anyway, it doesn't matter if I damage it. It's already coming up. I can get my fingernail up the side, so it's not going to be difficult. I just cut my fingernails and all. That's a bit of a bugger. So it's not going to be difficult. So first up, screw organisation. Need screw mat. I use just a magnetic mat. I've also got one of these because I haven't done one of these for a long time, which is really little handy magnetic mat. It tells you where to put all your screws. They're worth buying if you've not done many iPhones. They are worth buying. I think they're about £5 or £6. I've got a whole set. They are worth buying. So anyway, first things first. So I've here 2 Pentalope screws. Pentalope screwdriver, yeah. Blah blah blah. I'll try and keep it in camera. I'm not very good at this, but so yeah. You don't really need to see me doing this, but yeah, I'll take these 2 screws out. I'll try and keep my hands out of the way. Pop them up with screw mat out of the way. Organise your screws. This is absolutely the most fundamentally important thing. You put a screw in the wrong place and it is literally game over, because you could cause long screw damage, you could just irreversible reckless damage. Right, obviously the phone's on, so I'm going to power it off. That sounds really stupid, but so many people don't bother. Right, next thing, lift the screen. Sucker. And then you can use a pry tool. Always try and use plastic if you can. These things, you can buy like 50 of these. I don't know, for £1 from China. I will try and put links in, but who knows how this goes. I normally get bored halfway through. I've got one of these. This is called like a plexi, and it's used on for removing the screens off iPads. And it's a lot thinner, so you can get it in there without damaging the frame. Now on this phone, it doesn't really matter, so I'll try and do it on camera for you. Right, so I'm just gonna slip it in. It's not even gonna go in there. I might have to heat this up. Go on, get in there. So I mean, this is what I was on about. If you heat them up, it makes your life so much easier. In fact, I'm going to go down the side here because it's already up. But if I heat this up, it would have come out a lot easier. This is going to look like a butcher job. Do you know what? I might actually have to heat this up. Right, it's going round there. Please. I might start this video again. Right, put this right close to the button. I am going to get this in there. There you go. I've just been a bit shy. I've started it. I might use an accessory one now because I've got it. It's just going to go up the sides. My hands are in the way. But you go up the sides. Try and show you. Pull in. I'm not going to be able to do this because I'm cack-handed. I should have put the camera in the other angle. Go up the side and just slide it up and turn at the same time. And see, that's come up there. That's up. Now the other side. Again, I'll try and keep my hands out of the way. Both sides. I am butchering this, but like I said, this screen's absolutely knackered. I'm not doing a good job on this ice for some reason. Obviously, you've got to. There we go, the screen's coming up now. It's still glued down, so I'm going to lift it up slowly. Just so I've got the glue there. First things first, zoom in a bit. Always, no, I don't care what anyone says, especially with 6S's and upwards, 2 screws here, these got to come out, disconnect the battery. If you do anything, just disconnect that battery. So yeah, these are all, this is a 6S, so all these screws are just Phillips 00 gauge, I think they are. Just going to organise my screws out. I'll try and show you my screw mat as well. I need some tweezers and some tens. Actually, I've not used my fingernails, but I just cut the buggers off. Little plate comes off. Battery. I'm trying to do this so you can see. But there's a battery there. Just clip it up, bend it up, out of the way. Right, next thing we're going to move to is disconnecting the screen. Look at the screen's actually holding itself up with the glue and that. So on this, you've got 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. My light's probably shining on it. Try and move it. I'll try and move in a bit closer for you as well. Yeah, take these screws out. Pop in the screw mat. All these screws I'm marking out. I'll try, like I said, I will try and show you my screw mat. Just put the screws in, organise them. Sorry about the dog. It's not mine. Oops, that's coming up now. Oh, actually, this is. I said there's 4 screws. I've took a screw out that I didn't need to take out yet from here, but I'm not going to put it back in because it's coming out. And I hope you can see it. My hand's in the bloody way, isn't it? Tweezers are just fingernails. And then next, 3 ribbon cables on the 6S. Just gently, plastic. Don't use a metal one. Try, but just be gentle with it because there's small parts on the. These are all stuck down. Right, and now the screen will come away. Try and show you. It's just stuck down. It's just adhesive. See. There's a screen. Obviously when I get a new screen I'm going to have to swap all these parts. I might show you that in a separate video. So yeah, screen, I'm going to put that out of the way because I don't need it now for the foreseeable future, so you can go over there. Right, oh look, there's a SIM card in this, we need to get rid of that. SIM tray's got to come out at some point, so you might as well have that out. And put it there. Right, I can't remember where to start with this bloody thing. Let's get the battery out of it first. 2 screws here, Taptic engine. This is the vibrator basically. It's if ever you're removing the battery, so you can use this as just a battery removal video if you want. It's always a good idea to remove this because it just gives you more space. Right, and this magnetic, it just lifts out. Oh look at that, there's a screw there, I don't know where that's come from. That's obviously, we'll find out where that come from at some point. But I've never took this phone apart before, so we'll see. On the battery, I've got 2 pull tabs here. The idea is you can peel them up and they're stretchy and they pull out really long. I'll show you. If you snap them, it can be an absolute nightmare. But I'll give you a little tip. What I do is, if it do snap and you do end up having to hack the phone up, I use IPA, isopropyl alcohol, called rubbing oil. You can put it in a little syringe like this, and just run it all down there, and you can drop it down the back, and it really softens your adhesive. So if you do actually snap these pull tabs, it makes life a whole lot easier getting them out. So, pull tabs, let's remove these first. This battery is not going back in because I've got a brand new battery. The battery's at 87%. I mean, so in theory it could go back in, but as I'm doing a new housing, new screen, you might as well have a new battery, and it's going to be a brand new phone. So, try to need some tweezers that ain't so sharp. Try these little buggers. Right. This is probably going to look like a disaster. Let's get hold of this tab, right? And what it is, they are, I can try to show you so you can see, but they're elasticated, so you pull them really gently, and you can hear it coming out. Sometimes it'll snap. But I feel this one's going to snap already. Yeah, it's stopping. It's going to snap. Yeah, that one's going to snap. What I might do is, I'm going to do what I said. Isopropyl alcohol. I've actually got some here. I'm just going to run it down there, if you can see. Run it all the way down. It's going to come in quite handy actually anyway later, because there's lots of other parts. And it really softens. You can actually put it on a heating platform, or just heat the back of it up, and that'll soften the glue up. So it makes these look at that, it's made it look like butter now. It might even snap now, but if it snaps now, it's going to be a lot easier to remove. But see, look at that. Just take your time. And see that? It's not even making a clicking noise. It's going to peel out. Get some more. That's one. The second one. Use fingernails, tweezers, whatever suits you. Right. Pull on. Keep your finger on top of the battery, because when this fancy goes, the battery's going to fly off. So, oops, stuck over there. Battery comes out. Now, so if you want to if you just, for the sake of a battery replacement, the job's a good one. You can, I've got a battery here. You need to fit these pull tabs. You can buy these pull tabs. Oops, let me just tell you. These pull tabs. I've bought packets of them from China. It's all, because sometimes they can turn out to be a disaster. Sometimes they don't. They just make a mess. So if you want to just do battery replacement, you have to shape this end so that it fits perfectly. I normally put, when you get the battery, a new battery, I normally put something like that on one side, another one on the other side, and just shape it. So you can put your battery back in, blah blah blah. Do your pull tabs, put your Taptic engine, put the phone back together. That's your battery replacement anyway. Right, I'm going to pause for a second to have a breather. Right, back. It's where to begin really. So what I was trying to do is, so we've done a battery removal. So let's do, obviously everything's got to come out of this. Well, let's do camera removal, because it might just be that you need to just replace the camera. In this case, you don't want to watch a whole video on how to replace a camera. So the camera is one of the easiest parts. Again, you've got 2 screws here and here, and this is a flex cable. So I'm trying my best to keep it in shot, but take these 2 screws out. I'm going to put these rubbish at screw organisation. I'm going to use my other screw mat now. 2 screws. Pop the flex very, obviously you don't want to be knocking off components on the board. And now a little plate should come off. Keep that safe. It only goes on one way. And your camera should just ease out. So if you just need to do a camera replacement, fairly straightforward. Just obviously just reverse what I've done. So I'm going to put that aside. Right, so now it's going to start to take it all apart. Let's start down here. Little antenna cable here. These can be right little pigs. I'll try and show it close. Just there. This can be right pigs to get back in, I tell you. If it's perseverance. So pop that off. Plastic pry tool, something blunt, but just, you don't want to be, just put it underneath it and clip. Right, so I'm going to struggle here now. My board's popping up. Just clips off, pull it to one side. Right, so we're going to move at the top of the phone now. Got 2 screws here we're going to remove. This is for the power button, flex, it will come. So I'll put these 2 screws off. Again, I keep emphasising screw organisation. So some people, I'm using partly my own 2 screw mats. I'll try and show you in shot somewhere on the line. But just know where everything goes. And here's another real tip. I've done this. I've set all my screws out on a mat on the left hand side of me, and then just moved my arm and knocked it all over. And you're buggered. You can't risk putting a screw in the wrong place. You just can't do it. So yeah, we'll lose this. I know, pick it off. I'm lazy. Next, 3 screws here. I believe this is a GPS antenna. I'm not sure. Someone might tell me differently. Right, take these 3 screws out. One. Three. Right, so now, before you can take this antenna out, there's 2 more screws just here. You see them? You need to remove them as well. It can be a bit tricky. So we'll have them out. And then you can just lift this antenna out. Comes out, see? Put one side. It will only go one way. You can't put it back to front or upside down. So put that aside. Stuck to my bloody tweezers. I think there's around about 100 screws. I could be wrong. I've never counted them, but there is a lot of screws to do this. Where next? I reckon. Let's have. Where should we go? It doesn't really matter. Right, 2 screws. 2 screws here and here. There's a little plastic bracket. I think it's some sort of grounding bracket. We'll have them out. Oops, butterfingers. Do you know what? And I'm actually recording this. It's a really good tip actually. Look, that's come off with the plastic bracket anyway. It's a really good tip. If you've never done it before, record it. You can always come back to yourself then, can't you? I watch a YouTube video. I'll put some links, some really good, useful ones, some of the ones I've used. So what next? There's another screw there. We'll have that out. Don't know what it's. We're just tearing it down. I've got a little screw there. We'll put that. I suspect. Oh no, this actual plate goes underneath the motherboard. Next, we'll do this little screw here. Right, so what happens when this screw comes out, it's connected to a little tiny bracket. I'll take the screw out first. And I think it's just a grounding bracket. But you see? So that goes back in there. Where next? Right, this screw here, they call it. They get different screwdrivers. With someone call it a super screw because it's a screw that goes in because you screw into it. This is a 2.5mm hex screw thing, and that just lifts out. Pop that away. Oh yeah, and I also forgot, when we've lifted this plastic part off, my video is going to be so confusing, there's another screw underneath it. It's not really been the most helpful, but right, so we've got everything disconnected up. This part here, it is disconnected, but it goes under the, oh, so you can't see, this part here, all the screws are taken out, but this goes in under the motherboard or logic board, whatever you want to call it. Next, there's another antenna just here, so we're going to pop that out. Take your time. There you go. Pops up. So that's all that end. Everything at the end, top now, is done. So what next? Let's have this screw here. It's in there. Where is it? I'm trying to let you see. This screw here in the logic board. So the logic board is pretty much free now. I'm not going to start pulling that, but because there's other things to come away. Right, I'm going to have a quick pause. Right, so we're back, and we're now going to start on the bottom end of the phone. We're going to remove this little bracket here, which is, oops, that is it's normally stuck down, so you might have to pry it up with a tool. I'm trying to get the light right for you, but pry that up and peel it over. And I'm just trying to reposition the light. I'm sorry if it's a bit glaring. So we're now going to remove every single screw down here. There's quite a few of them. Organise them all. So yeah, quite a few. Just start pulling them out. So, one under here. I keep emphasising screw organisation. One here. This is a little clasp that's clips from the speaker. It can stay there for the time being. Right, so I'm going to carry on removing all these screws. Let's say it one more time, screw organisation. I might eat my words. Right, so we're just going to take all these screws out. I could speed up, but I'll do it in real time for you. Hopefully you can see all this. This bloody light is all changed in here, so I will show you. So I'm taking the 2 screws. So I got a bit of a creaky chair as well. Two more screws. I'll try and show him a screw map before I put it all back together. Well, I will. Speaker. 1, 2, 3 screws there, and there's a small plastic part here that will come out as well. It holds, basically it holds a microphone, one of the microphones in. So take these 3 screws out. And there's my small plastic part which I was talking about. Set that to one side. Two more screws out of the earpiece. And there's one hidden screw underneath this little plastic part here. This little, just peel it off. I can use a blade, but underneath here, if I can get it. What can I use? Let me find something to get it out. Yeah, underneath here, there's just another screw, just hidden underneath here. I hope I don't cut my finger off, that'd be embarrassing. Struggling here. As you can see, this is unrehearsed. Well, I'm wrecking it anyway, so if I can get it. These tweezers are just ripping, they're a bit sharp. Let me try some different ones. There you go. Screw, just there. To take that screw out. Again, keep saying it, I'm sorry. It's not gonna play ball, is it? This screw's going to fly away in a minute, I can see it. I got it. Right, so now what we can do, we can pry up this entire section, the speaker, remove that antenna, so odd. I don't know what's going on here actually. Let's just lift. This is different actually, it's got 2 antennas on it. I've not seen this before. I may have to come back to this. There we go. It's coming up. And with this we're going to lift the logic board up. And slap up the logic board. Oh, I forgot to disconnect this little connector there. I'm going to zoom out so you can see. There is another sort of antenna here I've not seen before. So I'm not quite sure. This is different than what I've done before. So the logic board's coming up. It's out at the top. And I'm trying to show you, it's clipped in. Just here. It will come out. Well, hopefully you can see it. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. I've not seen... It will not pop out. I hope I don't snap this because it's going to cause me loads of problems. I'll get it. There you go, it's lifted up. There we go. And the logic board is out. Right. Next, let's set that aside. Obviously you're not going to be using that for a little while. Next, we've got to remove all this lightning connector. It's this part, all this part, it's all the screws taken out, but it's glued. It's glued down to the housing. So what you can do, you could wreck it if you want to put a brand new one in. But what I normally do is use you can use a hairdryer, you can use a hot air machine, but just heat up the back so it's touch hot. I'm going to have to pause for a second because I've got a heating platform. So what I'm going to do is put it on my heating platform and come back when it's all nice and hot. Right, we're back. I've got this pretty damn warm. So what we need to do is start to remove this. It's not going to be using access more. In fact, I'm going to use just gently peel it. I'm going to zoom in if you can see. Hopefully you can. Maybe I can tip. But gently just pry it up. It's always better to use plastic if you can. Right, but that's... And if you need to reintroduce heat, just do it, but just work it underneath it. Trying to get you out the shadow so you can see. But just gently just work it, and work it all. I find if pulling slightly while you work it, you're less likely to do damage. Like I say, if you need to, I've been a bit bull in the china shop here because I've got spare ones of these. But just pry it up. I'm going to actually pause for a second and give it a little tiny bit more heat. So we're back. Just a little bit more heat. If you need to heat it, keep heating it, but just gently, just pry everything stuck down. There's a little tiny printed circuit board just there. You don't want to be bending that in any way, shape or form. But as you can see, everything's all loose now. So now you've got two microphones, one here, one here. You need to pry them away. Sorry, I'm not, one here and one here. And gently try and pry them apart. Hopefully you can see. Pry them away from the board, and just whatever comes easiest. That one's out. This one can be, if it comes off with all the small parts, because you are going to be transferring all these parts anyway. So if it all comes off in one big lump, so be it. Right, so that microphone, and then just pry away just gently just work it out. It will come. So I'm trying to show you in shot. Gently just. The speaker normally needs to be pulled away. Just work it out. It's all coming. It's not a race. There's that microphone still stuck down. Now if you're going to reuse this, obviously you don't want to be damaging it. So, I mean, these are literally £5 or something like that. Look, it's come away. Stuck down well. And that's about £5. So if you wreck it, maybe if you're going to do this job, maybe order one in just in case. Because I've not wrecked one, but I have got spares just in case. Oh my goodness, I nearly did. What I shouldn't have done is messed all the screws up I mentioned earlier. So now we're looking at the housing. It's looking pretty bleak. Meant to say, when we took the motherboard out, I mentioned this little plate that was stuck underneath it. So just lift away now. I started off doing this video so well that it's all falling apart now. Right, so we pretty much got it. I'm going to zoom out a minute. Pretty much got it all done. And the main parts out of the body. Right, so what I'm going to do is show you what you get in a brand new housing. You get your bag of buttons, because if you want to change the colour, if you want to make it fancy blue. Fortunately, I don't have to replace it. This is brand new housing, and that's what you get. Nothing. So there's still quite a few parts to come out of this. So next, we have got to start working. You can actually. There's some metal clasps here. You can start taking these parts off. There's one there, and start transferring them over. But what we'll do next, we'll work on. There's three screws here. 1, 2, 3 screws, and there's 2 screws here for the power. This is power button, volume button, and the silent mute. Sorry, I'm not being in shot. So we're gonna, again, this needs to be heated just so you can pry it all up. So what we're gonna do now is take all these screws out. We'll do this. So we'll take 2 from the power button. Back over to this side. I'll try 3 screws here, holding the up and down volume and your silent and mute. Take them out. I believe all these screws on the side are all the same size, but I wouldn't risk it. Where am I putting these? Put them anywhere. Hopefully you can see. Sorry, I'm trying. I'll show you. These, I'll take them out from here. The more fingers and thumbs trying to let you see what I'm doing. The 3rd screw there. Now, so these buttons now will just, this will just fall away. That falls away, but it's connected to all this ribbon. This, and obviously the power button will just fall away. But what you need to do is to pry it up. Again, just pry all this plastic. I'd buy one of these. If you're going to do the replacement, just buy one, because if you're going to be doing this regularly, you're going to use it eventually anyway. So what I'm going to do is just pause for a second. I'm going to heat all this up. And we're back. So this is pretty damn hot. So obviously, whatever way you want to do it, I want you to see, so we can release this top. All comes apart, all comes out. Oh, that's a bit of a bugger. Just try and pry to. See, look, just work it. Now that it's nice and, oh, you can't even see. There's quite some warm. Just work it away. Take your time. There's a tiny bit of circuit board here that needs to come up as well, which I forgot to mention. Oh, I'm messing this up now, aren't I? So there's them buttons released. Now here, right at the top, which I forgot to mention, this is, I think it's prox, I can't remember where it is. All needs to be pried up. Forgot all about this. Sorry, I should have included this, but everything's loose. And just gently just work it, and it will just come away. I could see myself ordering one of these in a minute. I haven't left a screw in there. No, I haven't. It's proper stuck down. Hope you can see, I'm trying to just release this. This has been particularly difficult, this one. Okay, we'll get there. Why is that stuck down so bloody well? There we go, it's coming. That was a bugger. So there's the whole part. Right, I've actually had a little bit of an error on here, which I didn't want to do. I've lost, there's a little tiny clasp here that clicks the sound on and off, which we normally replace anyway in a bag, which I was going to skip and I was going to show you in a later video, so I'll have to replace that. Right now, so we're going to set this to one side, so we're going to reuse that. Yep. Now this power button here will actually just pop out. It's got a little tiny metal clasp on it, and it's got a little tiny metal disc. Right, I'm hopefully not going to do this. I was going to do it in another video. But this metal clasp, what you need to do is to get a pair of tweezers. Find some tweezers. I can't even find a big pair. Find some tweezers, and you have to pull on one side and stretch and lift that clasp off, and then it'll come off the other side. There's a little tiny metal disc in here. I'll probably show you. You have to pry this disc off with just a sharp edge blade, and then I would recommend, you have to put that disc back because otherwise the book won't click. I would recommend, I normally just, it doesn't have to be glued as such. I tend to pick a bit of super glue and just dab the edge of it and stab it around a few times, and then just dab it on there, put the clasp back. Maybe I'll do it. Right, but as you can see now, we're pretty much bare bones in the phone. we've got oh, these are the two buttons here. They're power buttons. Look, just they're up and down volume. Just pop them out. Again, they've got the same clasp. Just pop it one side. Right. So, what I've got left in this phone now, we've got some rubber parts, gaskets that we do need to transfer over. We've got these brackets here that retain the screen. It's a couple on this side, one on that side. We've got this little rubber thing. It's not imperative that you replace it, but replace all. And there's a little tiny rubber thing here. I think that just gives the board a bit of a cushion. So yeah, there we go. Let's do that. So, got the new housing. So what I'm going to do is just start transferring. Yeah, so I'm going to take... I've suddenly got the sniffles. Excuse me. And if you can hear any fan noise, I'm sorry, but it's extremely hot here in the UK at the moment. It is 7 o'clock at night and it's still about 32 degrees. So, pop these. And just literally, I'm taking, I didn't say, I'm taking that from there and I'm transferring it straight over to new housing. So it's everything's just going backwards now. I think I will show you how to do the clasps on the buttons. Sorry, I'm being a bit rubbish now. I'm being set up so well and I'm really out of shot with everything. So yeah, when you tighten it, when you tighten things back up now, you just wind it in and, you know what I mean, like a button of chain. Just gently give it a little pinch. Other side. So now we've got these two clasps. I'm just going to transfer them over. I might even skip forward. Maybe not. Do it in real time. Oh, there's a little plastic part here. Every time I've done one of these phones, I found it and I've forgotten where it goes. And I end up having to Google it myself to find out where it goes. I'm going to be doing that. I'll let you know. Right, and that goes. I do actually remember now that I think about it. So, and my hand's in the way now. Popping these screws back in. My screwdriver's too magnetic. Let's pop this down. I want to make sure I put it the right way around. That way, yeah. Hopefully you can still see it. Oh, don't be... Sorry, my fingers are in the way. But you get the gist. It's not these yet. Turned it pinch, not too tight. You don't want it coming out. Back to here, taking this to the clasp off. Sorry, I keep going. Started off so well, but I'm going out of shot with all of it now. It's quite a time-consuming job. I can knock one of these off in about 45 minutes. So yeah, don't be in a hurry. Or maybe, but I will tell you one thing: allocate yourself some time. If you've not done many before, you want to do it in one hit. You don't want to come back later and think, "Oh yeah, I remember," because you will not. You end up watching back videos and it'll take you twice as long. Right, so that's in. So here's the thing. I'll put that aside. This flex cable, this can be a nightmare because you've got your buttons. So I'll do it. So your buttons in your phone. I'm actually going to use my old ones. Forget this flex. I'm going to use my old ones, but because just for the sake of time, because they're really good. I'll have to separate video it for you. I can't remember which way they went. Oh yeah, they go down. But I will do a video on how to do. I'll tell you. I've told you. A little rubber band. Peel this little rubber band off. Put on your new button. Let's have a look at new buttons. It's not worth changing them. So it's sort of half a video how to do it. So put these buttons in. The metal clasp, they only tend to go in one way. The metal clasp needs to be facing downwards. Just press it in. It's not going in. So there's two in there. One on the other side where the power button. That's for the power button. Right, unfortunately, I can't remember which way it goes. I'll have to pause for a second. Right, so back briefly, quickly. Long job. This is the old one. It's a metal clasp. It's got loads of dirt and scum in it. I'm going to have to put this one back on because the new one, if you look, it's where the power button, you can see the red bit. The new one, it doesn't actually show much red, it's a bit Chinese, so I'm going to put the old one on so it's more visible. So what you've got to do, this is it's really difficult to show you. I will try. I need some better light. You've got to fit this clasp, right? This button here, this clasp has got to fit. So it's got to slip through two little hoopy things there, and also land on top of the button, and it could be a real pain in the ass. But take your time. I'll put them on upside down. I'll try and do it. I sometimes do this under a magnifier. That is really lucky. Don't try. That's really lucky. I just got it on straight away. I think I have. Don't try and click it when it's out. When it's on its own. So we've got the new. That's the old housing. I don't want to put anything back. It's got new housing. Move all that, all the buttons. So basically, I will show you the buttons at the end if you want. That's upside down. So we're going to basically just put everything back. Oh, one more thing. Just make sure that there's no gluey parts. There was this one here. I'm going to peel it up. Sorry, I'm really going off piste here. I was trying to keep this precise. Peel it up. It may even still have a bit of stick on it. If it hasn't, just use any bicycle glue. It's really good for phones because it's rubberized. So it means that you can put a tiny. It can be messy, but it means you can peel it off and stick it back down. So there's a little tip. So this, obviously, we're going to start to, where do you start? Wherever. We're just going to make it fit. Right, let's get rid of that for a second. So let's start by positioning. Oh look, all my buttons are falling out. Do you know what I've done? I've put my old button. I've put the buttons in my old phone, so I'm going to start over. Right. Learn with Dave. I'm going to have the other one out. So yeah, we'll transfer this. Move that out of the way. You see I've fitted it, and it only goes, it will go in the wrong way, but if you get the metal clasp, the button's falling out again, it'll only fall down in one direction, flat. And this is famous last words, because this one seems to have buggered up. See, like that, that's, so go flat. So basically I'm going to put that in here. This is one of this is on these clasps. I will show you, but this is the most fiddliest part about the entire phone. That button that I did, which I felt bloody lucky there. I'll put the two clasps in there, right? So what I'm going to do is put the assembly in quick, and just the buttons won't fall out again. Hope you can see it all. I'm trying, because this is quite an important bit. This is one of the most trickiest parts of it, so I want you to see. Right, so I've got that in. I'm going to put them screws in. 3 screws. I'm going to put them straight back in. Try and make sure you can see. I didn't try and zoom it as best I can zoom. I'm filming this on an iPhone 7. I'm going to have to get my fingers in the way just to make this fit. Got them screws in. One in. Second one. Everything's not playing ball. I haven't tightened it up fully yet. I'll pinch them all up in a minute. And the third one. Right, I wish I'd shown you how to do these buttons. I know, sorry. What we're going to do now is just make sure that this clicks on and off. I should replace it, but yeah, that clicks, because it's the only thing that makes letting phone down. That one's not clicking. That one's not clicking. That one is. So I'm going to have to... See, look, I might as well show you. You learn, don't you? I'm going to have to take this apart. But you want the click. You don't want to put it all together and find out that it's not clicking. Because you're going to be faced with a bloody nightmare. Sorry. Why is it not clicking? Because I think it just wasn't set in right. Yeah, that's all it is. Sorry, this button isn't actually just in correctly. I think that's all it was. I'll put this button. No, it doesn't seem right. That one clicks, that one doesn't. So, Houston, we got a problem. Push that button out. Why isn't it clicking? Got the clasp. Try replacing it, see if that makes a difference. Right, well, what I'm going to have to do then is actually show you. I'm going to use the button from the other side because it's the same for now, and I have to do one of these buttons and show you how to do it. So power button, we'll use this one from, maybe the power button's slightly different. Put that in. I'm just going to it's clicking now, but it doesn't seem to sit. I think it's something to do with this clasp. It doesn't seem to be sat as high. There's something not right here. So I'm going to push that in. See, that button looks a little bit higher than that button. Can you see? This is the first for me, but we'll work it out. That button does actually go in fully. So is it this? I don't know. It's news to me. Maybe I could. Yeah, it doesn't. It's strange, huh? I'm gonna sit and bundle about with this and work it out. I really don't know why. So I'm going to pull this apart. See, this one's supposed to be part of the video, but well, might as well. I'm going to work out why it's not. It's already glued itself back down, so. Let's swap these buttons over. Might make a difference. I don't know why. But we'll see. If you don't get a problem, you don't learn. Problem solving. This clasp is a bit crappy. I actually think it's the button. I did say right at the beginning this is the fiddliest bit. Let's put it in roughly and see. You can't see, can you? But so this is about. it just sits lower. It's a crappy button, so what we are going to do, let's pull it apart, and we're going to have to do this button. I don't know where it is, but it's crap. So, bit I didn't want to do, I'm going to have to do. New button. So, first things first. Oh god, I hate doing this. Tweezers. I'm losing the plot now. Oh, I've lost my bloody tweezers. I'll get another pair. You can probably see them right in front of me. This rubber gasket needs to come off. Hopefully, you can see. Oh, the new button. Right, so there's a gasket on the new button. Getting lots of shadows now. Light's changing. This clasp, hopefully, I don't want to use these tweezers really because they really give it a pull. Can you see? Pulls off one side and then push the other way. Oh, my nose is running. I don't want to bend these tweezers because they're quite good tweezers. Get some crappy tweezers. So, if you can try and see, I pulled off one side and just pull off the other side. Metal clasp there. I think I'm out of shot. So what we want to do is put that back on. Oh no, right, before I even do that, there's a tiny little metal disc. You see it? You need to remove that. That has to go on because that's what makes it click. This it's really fiddly. I'm trying to do it in shot, but let's move that tiny little disc. I don't want to be flipping it everywhere. Right, so it's coming away. So what I'm going to do with that disc, I'm going to stick it. I'm going to use my scissors and just be lazy. It started off so well, didn't it? And my bloody super glue, it keeps gluing its bloody lids on. Let's just see if we can put the clasp in place. This little disc. I've actually used a bit. Oh, I've lost it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm going to pause and see if I can find it. Right, well I didn't find the metal dot. But I had a load of old iPhones, so I've managed to nick one off one of them. So I'm just going to this is just some sort of rubber glue. Now I'm going to ping it away again, you watch. Let's put this metal disc on top. I'm trying to show you, I'm losing the plot here. Got that metal disc on, I'm just going to position it. I just used a bit of glue for that. Hoping. Right, metal claspy bit. It's all going downhill here. My crappy tweezers used to be really good at this metal clasp. Don't want to start losing this. Get it on one side, hook it in. Can't get it in. I'm trying to keep it in shot. Should do this under a magnifier. I've never got tons of these buttons I can just fall back on. Oh, it's stressing me now. But right, so I've got the clasp the other way in. So what I've got to do now is just stretch it, pull on it, so it goes in the other side, pushes in, and it flops about. Not very well. Reposition. It is in there. Butterfingers. There we go. Looks a bit, it doesn't look right. Please. It's stressing me now. Put it in. So that's a completely different button. It still doesn't look like it sits right. I'm going to attempt to put this all back together again. So do you know what I reckon I did? Hopefully you've not seen any of this now. It started off so well. Like you're in there, you're in there. I'm going to put the screws in, hope for the best. It's looking good. Put a middle one in first. My heating platform's still clicking away. It's from China, so I don't want to burn it out. It probably lasts about 2 weeks. Incidentally, this case is from China. Maybe that's where the problem is. They're both clicking, but it's still... One does look... I don't know, that's pretty good actually. Right, so we're back on track now. So I'll pop this screw in. Not playing ball. Right, so all them screws are in. Let's move on to the other side. Now, hopefully, this bloody button goes in and doesn't give me the same grief. Clasped facing downwards. Oops. Butterfingers. Clasped facing downwards. It'll only go downwards in one position. What I might do is reshoot the second half of this video so you get to see what I've actually, because it started off well. Screws for this clasp now. Yeah, I've got them here. Why's that flexing? Oh, it's going to click. Oh, get in there. Don't be awkward. Oh, and it's not bloody clicking. M2R, that one's perfect. But take it back out. It was in. See, I did say this is the most fiddliest part of the job. Right, so yeah, I've just repositioned the screws here and it's clicking now. Crappy Chinese housing. Ah! I've never had this much problem before. But the screw doesn't even want to go in, it's just been like, please, just go in. There's something not right here. Oh, I don't know what I did, but I've repositioned it all and it's clicking now. That's good enough for me. Listen. Ah! I tighten that up. I tighten that screw up, it doesn't click. Now, I could be cheating and just slacking that screw off so it clicks. But there's a reason. It's got to be right. I am right, so it's clicking. Tighten that screw up, it doesn't click. So I am going to skip this bit. So that was an absolute git. What I did, changed over several buttons, and it's clicking now. It was almost like I'd just over tightened it. So yeah, you caught me as it is. So right, anyway, let's move on. On this old screen, we've got lots of, down the bottom here, we've got like speaker mesh, microphone, bits and pieces, just rubber gaskets of sorts that need to be transferred over. I'm going to try and make, so on this bottom half, zoom in for you. So it's not for the faint-hearted, but don't be afraid to have a go, honestly. But it's always handy to, this bottom bit, it just needs to, another light's rubbish. It's got to pry it away, it's sort of slightly glued on there. With just whatever means you can. Try not to use anything sharp, but like me, doesn't matter if I damage this case anyway, because it's going in the bin. Look, it's peeling away, but sometimes the mesh, because you've got to get the mesh out as well, sometimes the mesh will actually come with it. It could be a bit of a, I'm going to try and get the mesh with it. It could be a bit of a godsend. Right, it has actually. So, when you take it apart, this rubber part comes out, and it's got little metal dust mesh, which is actually, it's quite bendy, it's actually, I've managed to pry it all off together. So the new screen, I'll just push it into position, and it's got some stick on it. It's actually got, I'm getting loads of shadows on. It's got stick on it, so that's in. Next, just compare. You see the difference? Just transfer these, just rub out there. Just transfer them. And again, this one doesn't have a mesh. It's just a gasket. I mean, if you wanted to be really pedantic and not bother, but God, it's stuck in there proper. Try and push it out from the bottom. But it has to come out. Try blade. Proper in there, that is. Feels like it's been bloody super glued. Hopefully you can see. I'm just literally trying to work this out. There we go, it's coming now. I don't want to bend. Oh, these are bloody good tweezers. The Chinese tweezers that I'm using, these ones, they're bloody good. But they've got no strength. Look. So, this mesh is just, oh that's it, just popped away now. See, nice and easy, lemon squeezy. So transfer that straight in there, into the, normally got a bit of stick left on them anyway. And there's another bit here, isn't there? Rubbery bit here. This is one of the microphones. The other microphone. It's got two microphones on this phone. Right, see, I've just pulled that out of there. There's another tiny little. I'm going to put that to one side. There's actually another tiny little gasket there that needs to come out. It just peels off. It's rubberized. It's a water sealant gasket. I'm trying doing it on camera, but I'm struggling at the moment. There we go. Use a bit crappier tweezers. Just grab hold of the bloody thing. Probably going to snap it, taking it off. But these parts are, I mean, if I snap it, it's not going in, but these parts are fairly important. I mean, it's a microphone. This rubber bit, you might find that people are saying, "Oh, your voice is vibrating when you talk," and yeah. So it's going to snap. It's proper glued. These trees are too sharp. I'll just tear it. These ones won't. There, it's torn off anyway. But we'll try and replace it. Even though it is torn. Do you know what? There's actually a bit more there. I remember now. It's a little mesh. That actually, we can skip that bit that I've just ruined. It's this mesh we want. Poke it out with a blunt. That's too blunt. There we go. You can see. You You see, let's peel that mesh out. The dogs have just seen a cat. Got the mesh, finally got the mesh. Put that in. Sorry, I'm doing this off camera a bit. Mesh is in. Now this bit. Yeah, I said that rubber bit was important, but yeah, it snapped. And actually, this is all rubbery. Right, so there's all the small bits in at the bottom now. Where do we go from here? Let's breather. Last but not bloody least, with this ribbon cable. Like I said, I've never had so much trouble. Need to put this metal part over the top. Right, it clasps under. So it goes under like that. But basically, yeah, it clips under. It goes underneath. Goes into the frame. And then holds down. And then you want to put one screw in. It's not going to fly away. Didn't feel like it went in right. Right, yes, so that's that is fucking done. Sorry I swore, I might have to edit that. Everything clicks, everything's lovely jubbly, clickety clickety, Betty Boo. Right, down to here now, lightning dog. Let's put this back in. Right, basically, did I get all the parts off that other one? Make sure. No. Yes. Good enough. Lightning dog. Basically, it's going to just slip in. I'm going to just work it. Logo in, just work it in. I'm trying to show it because it's the old one. Microphones, just press everything in. That microphone's gone in. Everything's. Don't worry about this being stuck at the moment. Bash all your screws in, you know. And we're doing whatever order. Right, we'll start with the earpiece. Get that in because that can be a bit jiggy. See it click there. Earpiece. 2 screws. There's 3. We've got a little metal clasp as well, we need to remember. Hope we can see all this. A bit more light fears. Remember this little plastic clasp that I was talking about that goes in there? Where it does, it sits. I'll show you. Little dot there, and it sits. I'll try and put it in. If I lose this, it's your fault. It goes in there, and it sits in, and then it's quite a long screw. It's the same size as the other earpiece screws. Just make it so. Sorry. But that just retains that bottom microphone. Oh, you didn't say. So now I'm going to put all these screws, every screw that you can see, just put them all back. Yep, so. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. I think we could invest in one of these. Demagnetized magnetizer. Give you a screwdriver. Oh, it's just so much helpful. That's it. Should have done this ages ago. Popping all these screws in. If they don't go in right, just twist them. You don't want to be putting them in wonky. Just twist them back and then turn them. Right, we need to get a move on here because this is doing me head in now. Screw. Literally run out of screws very quickly now. You'll be surprised how quickly it comes together. Right, got connected. This you want. See how it's not sitting over that hole. You want this to. You want it to fit. I'm trying to show. It's going over the top of that hole. You want it to just make it. Basically. Everything should just sit right. Everything's there, everything's good. Hunky dory. Pause. Well, I don't know where we got to there. It seems to have cut out. But basically, I've literally just slotted in this speaker, the motherboard. I put one screw in the motherboard here. And we've got this antenna that still needs connected, and that for the speaker needs to be connected. Well, I can actually do that now. Let's clip it. Make sure that it goes in straight. Because it doesn't look like it's... No, make a click, but sometimes they don't. Sorry. I might have to be off camera again. There you go, that's in. That's in, that's not going nowhere. Now this antenna, hopefully you'll be able to see. I might use a magnifier here, because it either goes in or it doesn't go in. It can take you 5 minutes, it can take you 2 seconds. It's basically what we've got to do is clip that tiny wire into that little tiny hole. And it's an antenna, so you don't want to mess this up. So I'm saying to use a magnifier. Let's see if I can just get it on there straight off. I am going to try and be out finger here. Don't force it. This is a clip. Has it got on? See, sometimes you don't know if it's gone on. I'm going to have to do this off camera. Let's try. Let's just give it one more try. It's one of them ones that could take you forever. Or could take you for and do it instant. It's not going on. It's vital though. Right, I'm gonna have to like literally put it under. I'll try and do it under a scope. It won't be able to. Some sort of magnifier I'm using. It's just a big. Right, so yeah, I'll try and do it on this. So I'll pause for a sec. It actually took me about a minute, but it just clicks. It literally just clicks, but you don't want to be forcing it. So now we're back at the top end. Let's click this bracket in. There's something not right there. Yeah, it is. Click the old. I've clicked this bit in. And where do we go from here? Right. It doesn't really matter. There's another antenna connected. I'm going to give that a break for a minute. Let's start doing some of these. I'm going to do this part here. Goes there. Doesn't really matter. It's all going. Everything's going back where it should now. Slacken that off. Put the screw in. Oh, it's great when you start to run out of screws. Get the old super screw in. Where's that? Oh, I'm doing it all off camera, aren't I? Sorry. Doesn't want to go in. Get in there. You will go in there. I will make you. Oh, I've one of them. Why is it? Oh, I've got the right socket on it. There we go. It's in. Don't over tighten it. Right. So now where are we at? We can. We had one screw. Oh yes, one screw that we have to put in here. Must be this one. Next, this metal bit here, let's put that on. 5 screws. Hopefully you've organised your screws accordingly. Otherwise, game over. Tighten that one up. Oopsie. Oh, put that in the wrong hole. And it was going in the case, but that could have went through the board and damaged it. Next, we've got to put a clasp on here. 2 screws. What have we got left? We need to next. We've got the camera effect. That's it. This camera and this little metal bracket. I can't remember which order it went on. It's got this little plastic part here, and it goes. I can't quite remember how it goes. Let me think about it. The camera goes. Ah, right, I remember. Take the camera back out. So this goes like that and over. So let's put this screw in here. Oops, daisy. Then the camera. Oh, I'll tell you what I will do. I might have to come back again. I've got that. I want another one of them antennas. Let's see if I can just do it straight off. I hate doing these. These are the only part of the phone that I hate doing. They either clip on instantly or they don't want to play ball. I'm going to have to pause to get this bloody... It actually went straight on. I could say that, couldn't I? Right, so the camera, because obviously I put this little tiny bracket here, this plastic, the camera's in position. So now I need to put the metal clasp. So you want that to stay there. Oh God, what am I doing? But we want that clasp thing to there. Hope you can see. Oh my God, I'm going to do it again so you can see. There's the camera. Let's take the camera out again. Right, I mentioned this little tiny plastic part here. So what we're going to do, when you've got to put the camera in, you just want to put the camera in, yes it's in. Put this plastic piece over, but you want to make sure that that bit goes under the screw hole. It's a grounding. So yeah, I've got that job done. I might have to redo the second half of this video because it's went poorly downhill. Right. Clip the camera in. You heard it click. Everything is in. So what I've got to do now is pop a battery in it, pop a screen on it, and jobs are good. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly test it. I'm going to just... Where's the old screen? This old screen is broken, but what I want to do is this the old one? Yeah. I'm going to pop this old screen back on just to quickly test. Look at that, these clips I can spend 5 minutes putting, sorry, just clip them 3 clips in, I'm sorry you didn't see. Spend 5 minutes doing them sometimes. Where's your battery? Not sticking it in. Clip it in, pop the screen up, see. Yeah, the screen is buggered. It's gone a bit worse. That could just be down to my, there you go. Got 2 Apple logos. It's just easy. It needs a new screen, basically. So that's going to be replaced. Let's see it boot up. Yeah. So yeah, it's hard to show you, but it is working. See, slid it off. Right, before I take the screen back off, always disconnect the battery. Right, so what I wouldn't mind do. So what I'm going to have to do is I need to just literally fit a new battery now and a new screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till I've got a new screen coming, and then I might release this anyway, but I'll have to rebuild the screen into a new screen, put the battery in. I could even put the battery in now, but I've had enough for the night, to be honest. So we will come back to this.